Back to Sportsline, everybody. We're getting you set for Game 4 between the Predators and the Avalanche, which starts top of the hour. Of course, the Preds up in the series 2-1, but coming off a 5-3 loss on Monday night in Game 3 as the series has shifted to Denver. Game 5, no matter what happens tonight, will be Friday night at Bridgestone Arena. That's an 8:30 start. And here to help us break it all down is our good friend from Penalty Box Radio, and he's also the author of the book, The Making of Smashville. We welcome Justin Bradford back to the show. JB, how are you, my man?
Hey, I'm doing all right, just trying to, stay awake.
We were talking during the break. These 8:30 and 9 p.m. starts are just brutal right now, but we're getting through as best we can, right?
Yeah, we're doing the best we can. This means that the Predators need to do whatever they possibly can to get to the next round, so we don't have these late starts anymore like this. This is brutal being in Central Time Zone.
It really is. Justin, I gotta laugh because I'm looking around the up and down the dial today. No names, please, at some other TV outlets, and they're talking to fans and they're asking them, "Are you worried? Do you still have faith in the Predators?" People need to realize, this better than anybody. You've watched hockey, you've covered it for forever. You know how the playoffs are. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to lose a game here or there. And, you look at where the Preds are right now. They're up 2-1 in the series. If they win, they'll be up 3-1 with a chance to close out Friday night at home. Even if they lose, it's still a 2-2 series, best of 3 with 2 of the last 3 games at Bridgestone Arena. The Preds are still in a pretty good spot. There's no need to panic after one bad game, no?
No, there's no need to panic right now, and for everyone to remember that teams don't go 16-0.
Right.
Playoffs. It's really tough because it is a marathon, like you said, not a sprint. I think most of the concerns are coming off of how the Predators have started these games, even the games they won.
Mm-hmm.
The big concern now is their overall play. They've had some bounces go their way in the games 1 and 2, and it obviously did not go their way in Game 3. To spin it in a positive manner, when you look at how they finished Game 3, even though they got whooped, they finished strong in the third period and just couldn't get it past Jonathan Bernier, even though they pretty much controlled and dominated the third period of Game 3. That's what people are concerned about most is their starts, because they've allowed the first goal to happen against them in all 3 games. And 2 of those games was the first shot on goal. And then obviously the Colorado Avalanche made the Nashville Predators look like a beer league team, going up 4-0 in the first period of Game 3. So I think people are most concerned about that, but there really isn't a reason to panic right now. But we need to look at this game tonight. If they are playing the same way they played for most of Game 3, then there's some reason to be concerned. Still not panic because, like you said, there's still 3 more games to be played. But when you see the talent that is on this Nashville Predators team, they should be dominating the Colorado Avalanche way, way more. Now, that's not to underestimate the Colorado Avalanche because they do have a lot of talent on their team. They have this desperate personality that they're playing with, and that really bodes well in their favor, especially playing at home. They're a great home team. But all those things together, the Predators have to come out strong tonight. They have to look at the Predators that we're used to seeing in the regular season.
And Justin, of course, all eyes are going to be on Pekka Rinne tonight. I was watching some of the NBA playoffs earlier before I came up here to do this show. LeBron James having himself a nice bounce-back game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Game 2 of that series. I expect Pekka Rinne to play a lot better tonight, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And granted, he hasn't been to blame for all the goals. He hasn't been like the Pekka Rinne we saw, the Vezina finalist Pekka Rinne that we saw in the regular season. But that team up front has got to play so much better in front of him. 4 of the goals against him, which is all the 4 goals that Pekka Rinne allowed, were scored from in the slot, scored from the home zone, areas where they should not be scoring, especially point-blank range. That's where the defense, which is what is supposed to be the best in the NHL, should be dominating in that area, in the slot. And they allowed 4 goals against right from there. Pekka can't stop all of them when he's getting shots against him like that. The defense has to play better in front of him. The whole team in general has to play better in front of him. He can only do so much as a goalie because it is a team sport. But, yes, he needs to step it up as well because, hey, it's Pekka Rinne. He's a Vezina finalist right now. But there's still a lot more the team in front of him can do to help him be a better goaltender.
Talking with Justin Bradford from Penalty Box Radio, getting ready for Game 4, Preds and Avalanche just after 9 o'clock tonight, another always convenient starting time. Justin, also, obviously a big key tonight, the Preds have to be a lot more disciplined. They got to stay out of the box because, the Avalanche, they've got some snipers on that team. That first line is as good as any you'll see in the NHL.
No, it absolutely is. You do not want to keep testing Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Gabriel Landeskog. That is just setting yourself up for disaster. Now, granted, the Predators' penalty kill has been really darn good in this series where they haven't had to deal with that. But again, just like when you have a winning streak against a team, eventually it's going to break and the team's going to get through. Colorado finally broke that losing streak against Nashville. Well, they're going to keep breaking that penalty kill streak, that power play streak against Nashville as well to keep on testing that. You have to be smart with the penalties you take. If it's something that's preventing an obvious goal, something that was a breakaway with Nathan MacKinnon, then yeah, I can understand taking a penalty. But when you're taking 9 penalties in a game or more like that, where it's cross checks or tripping or penalties where there obviously doesn't need to be a penalty taken, or if they're an offensive zone penalty, it's that type of smart play the Predators need to have in order to beat the Colorado Avalanche. 5-on-5, Predators are supposed to be a dang good team, and they need to prove that by playing smart hockey. And there's not really any other way to say what can you fix people about playing smarter. It's mental. They have to mentally be in the game. And in these first 3 games, they've had a lot of trouble being in these games mentally, especially to start it out. So smart plays, smart penalties, because of course penalties are going to happen.
Sure.
Then taking advantage as well when the other team takes a penalty. Scoring on the power play, lots of special teams. That's what can make or break a game.
Justin, what about Nathan MacKinnon? I mean, I feel like obviously those that know hockey like yourself know all about this guy, but, to the casual hockey fan, this is kind of his coming out party. He plays for the Colorado Avalanche, one of the better franchises in the NHL, but until you actually watch this guy on a regular basis, I mean, his skills are amazing. His speed, his puck handling, his ability to score from difficult angles. I mean, this guy is as good as you'll find in this league, right?
Absolutely. He's a top 5 point getter in the regular season for a reason. And when he was taken really high in the draft, I mean, they could have taken Seth Jones, but they decided to take Nathan MacKinnon. And I guess for a reason now, when you see it, he pretty much put this team on his back along with Mikko Rantanen. And you think back in the beginning of the season, everyone was calling for Colorado Avalanche to be a dumpster fire, myself included. Not thinking they were going to put it together this year, but saying, hey, they have some youth that they can make it happen later, but certainly not this season. Well, they get rid of Matt Duchene and trade him to Ottawa, and then all of a sudden the Colorado Avalanche pick it up, and they're in the playoffs. But it's because Nathan MacKinnon, the leader on that team, put the team on his back and basically drove them into the playoffs himself. And he's that type of player that can be a game breaker. His speed, he obviously is one of the fastest in the NHL, him and Connor McDavid both, but his way he's creative on the ice as well. He's an extremely dangerous player. And this is kind of his coming out party, because now with them playing the President's Trophy winning Nashville Predators, all eyes are on the Predators to make sure to see how they can shut him down. And so far, they haven't been able to do that.
Justin Bradford is our guest from Penalty Box Radio. He's also author of the book, The Making of Smashville. Great book. If you haven't picked it up, you should definitely try to get your hands on that. Justin, how weird is it to see guys like Gabby Bourque and Colin Wilson playing against the Nashville Predators in a playoff series?
Well, Gabriel Bourque has certainly made the most of his opportunity, scoring goals against his former team like that, and he's playing on the 4th line and scoring goals nonetheless. Colin Wilson obviously trying to shake it up a little bit too. He's been a little feisty out there against the Nashville Predators. You see him trying to pick fights already, to get under the team's skin. There's a lot of back and forth talk before the series started, saying how he was going to give some inside information about the Predators, and then as Christopher Martel reported, what Picarine said, he had to hold his hand while flying all the time because Wilson's scared of flying. So lots of back and forth talk. I think that's really fun for the teams to see, to have that back and forth with former teammates. But overall, it's good to see Gabriel Bourque getting a lot of playing time with Colorado, an opportunity, because even now, he still probably would not be cracking this roster given the talent of the Nashville Predators. And people see that, see him scoring goals. They go, well, why did they get rid of him in the first place? Well, he didn't fit into the system as the team was growing and what they were trying to build with the Predators, and that's okay. Same with Colin Wilson needing a fresh start. And overall, Wilson has not been able to do much for the Colorado Avalanche. He hasn't done much in this series either. So teams have to move on, players have to move on, and it is a little weird to see them. But at least for Gabriel Bourque, good to see him have an opportunity to be playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Justin, what about PK Subban? He's in the crosshairs again for the hit he laid on MacKinnon a couple of nights ago. The Avalanche aren't happy about it. That jabroni that does the column for the Denver Post has been all over him and the Preds. I don't know what his problem is. I need to get him on this show. But PK's a guy that he's used to hearing the boos when he touches the puck. He's used to being, I guess, the villain, the heel, if you will. I don't think it's going to affect his play tonight. In fact, he said, you know what, hey, if I get the chance, I'll do it again.
Yeah, it's one of those things that obviously other teams and fan bases are going to look at that and see that it was a little too much. Could he have held back a little? Potentially, yeah, but it's against Nathan McKinnon. And PK, like you just said, he's being a good heel, and he went after their star player. And if that gets under the star player's skin, just like he's trying to get under Sidney Crosby's skin, PK Subban doesn't get enough credit for playing the heel. I really don't, because he's one of those guys, you hear about Brad Marchand all the time and what he does and his antics, which obviously should be suspendable sometimes. But PK Subban does a fantastic job of getting under a rival fan base and other players' skin. And he hasn't had the best series yet, but he's still a fantastic player, but he has to perform even better. He has to put everything where his mouth is, and that's where he's talking a big game. And so I want to see even more out of him, because he has the ability to take over a game at the blue line as well, whether it's offensively or even defensively. He's a high-risk, high-reward player, but he can do that. If he shows up, look out, because he can be a game-changer for the Nashville Predators.
Finishing up with Justin Bradford here from Penalty Box Radio, covers the Nashville Predators. All right, Justin, finish this sentence. The Nashville Predators will win Game 4 tonight if?
If they there's a few things. If they
we got time. Lay it out.
If they have a strong start, if they have good transitions in the neutral zone, if they play Game 4 like they played the third period of Game 3, and if they protect the slot, they have to be better in the defensive zone, especially in the high danger areas. They have to do all those things. All those things lead to more goals being scored. All those things lead to better defensive play. All those things lead to Pecorino being a better goaltender. So you put all those things together, it means a solid 60-minute effort from the Nashville Predators, and that's how they're going to win, is playing all those things together and playing solid, smart hockey the way everybody expects them to play.
All right, Justin, get your plugs in. Where can people keep up with your fine work, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. On Twitter at Justin B. Bradford, and everything at Penalty Box Radio. That includes podcasts, videos, post-game stories, everything you need there on Penalty Box Radio. And I really appreciate you having me on again, John.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you at the arena, I'm sure, for Game 5 on Friday. Hopefully the Preds will be up 3-1. Thanks so much for jumping on, my man.
Thank you. I'll have caffeine in hand.
All right. That's the great Justin Bradford joining us here on Sportsline as we break down game number 4 between the Preds and the Avalanche. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls, and also we'll hear from some of the Preds players as we get ready, as we said, for game 4, about 29 minutes away from starting. So stay with us until game time, then flip over, and then make sure you flip back on News Channel 5 at 10:22 for the Sportscast. We're back after this.